Hey guys, welcome back to the channel here on Overdrive Reviews. I'm super pumped to show you this car today. This is the 2025 Toyota Camry Hybrid. And I say hybrid because for 2025, all new, breaking news, every single Camry you can get is a hybrid. Gone are the days of that powerful, sporty V6 engine that some of the previous Camrys came with. But beyond just the hybrid powertrain that now Toyota is looking to as they get more on the road to electrifying their entire fleet, this Camry is also redesigned for 2025 for the 9th generation. Some new front fascia stuff up front, some new things in the back, this really hard line here on the side. I love the wheels on this. This is the XSE, by the way, the top of the line trim. But yeah, different hybrid powertrains, a brand new look on the interior. Check out this red leather. It is unbelievably pretty and does a great job of showing off, hey, Toyota is taking this segment seriously, and the competition between the Accord and the Camry is still very much alive. So today I'll give you a full review of the inside, of the outside, take it out on the road as well, give you all the stats about the hybrid setup. How efficient is it? Is it still quick? What the inside has packed in it, and how much it'll cost you at the end of the day. Before we get going though, a huge shout out to the folks at Kramer's Middletown and their budget rental division. They always lend me these amazing cars, and this Camry here today is from them. They've got SUVs, trucks, sports cars, coupes, wagons, all things available for you to rent, for you to short-term rent, like for 3 or 4 months, and then also for you to buy. They have a whole sales division as well. Check them out at the link below. There's also more info in my description of this video. And also, while I have you here, please like and subscribe to the channel below. It helps us out so very much. And follow us over on Instagram as well at Overdrive Reviews. All right, enough from me. Let's hop into the exterior of this 2025 Toyota Camry Hybrid. I am super pumped to check it all out. Let's go. So let's start with the refresh here. It is a really good looking car. I mean, the Camry has been popular for decades in America and across the world really, but this new front fascia, I'm absolutely in love with. It looks very inspired by the Crown, by the BZ4X, sort of with this like kind of like protruding beak a little bit. I don't know what else to call it. Beak is not a good word, I don't think, but like beak is all I'm thinking of. Very Lexus-esque down here as well at the front grille. Not as glamorous or as chrome filled as the Lexus vehicle would be, but these beautiful lights right here are also just stunning, kind of pinched right here into that light. It flows beautifully, and this big new front lip, I really love it. It looks really nice. And up here, of course, you've got this beautiful gray color. It's kind of like a space gray almost. We're in the shade right now, so it's coming off not as gray as it looks in person, but it's a beautiful shade of gray here. So on this car too, this is the top of the line I mentioned to you, the XSE trim, and it has 19-inch wheels. I believe these are 235/40 R19s, yes, and these are Bridgestone Turanza tires, I believe. And the Camry here for 25, again, the 9th generation, looks better than ever in my opinion. Let's go over the pricing here real quick while I have this on my mind. The LE is the base model entry-level trim, $29,495. The SE is the next step up, $31,795. The XLE is $34,495. And this one here, the XSE, starts at $35,695. Let's go to the side here. That big, strong line I was telling you about goes all the way to the back of the vehicle here. And these new split tail lights in the rear look awesome, and they're illuminated right now. I'm trying to make it a little more dark here in the shade to get these the full effect of it going. But you've got a dual exhaust pipe right here for you as well. And I'm not sure why they do this. This looks super chintzy and weird to me. A hybrid electric vehicle. It's a hybrid. I mean, yeah, it's got electric motors, but it's not like you can have a 30-mile only range of electricity. There's no plug-in aspect to this. It's just a hybrid. So I don't know. You're confusing people by putting HEV, in my opinion. But I love these new rear tail lights here as well. This big trim piece in the center here with blacked out Camry and big letters. Looks really kind of premium and more high-end compared to the, you know, Camrys of the past. Again, this is the XSE trim right here for you. A really nice black spoiler on the back for you, really amplifying the sportiness of this vehicle. And look at it from this angle. Here we go. Let me back up. Yeah, look at that. Oh, a beautiful car. I mean, I've never thought a Camry was kind of sexy. Maybe the really high-end TRD ones, but those variants are so insanely expensive for what they are. This is just a $35,000 family sedan with lots of cool aesthetics. And now let's also talk about what else you can get as far as powertrain goes. There is a front-wheel drive option or an all-wheel drive option, and I'll break those down when we get to the engine in about 30 seconds here. But a beautiful car. I love it quite a bit. As you can tell, my enthusiasm. And up top, you got this huge panoramic sunroof. Opens up a huge pane of glass for you. Back to the front and this cinched beak look. Oh, I think it's so cool. It is a distinguished, very identifiable look. All right, let's hop into the engine bay and talk about your options under the hood. Alrighty, so here underneath the engine, like I mentioned, it's all hybrid all the time for Toyota Camry for 2025 and beyond. Front-wheel drive has 225 horsepower, while all-wheel drive has 7 horsepower more, 232. Now, there are electric motor components to this, but again, this is not an EV. It's not a plug-in hybrid at all, so don't get confused or mishear me. There are electric motors in this, but it is just a hybrid. It takes gasoline. You cannot plug this thing in. So with front-wheel drive, there are only 2 electric motors. They are here at the front. For all-wheel drive, there are 3 electric motors, 2 in the front, 1 in the back, rotating those rear wheels, right? And that extra motor, by the way, yeah, only gives you 7 extra horsepower. So 232 combined horsepower for all-wheel drive, 225 horsepower combined for front-wheel drive. Now, as far as efficiency, fuel efficiency hasn't been released by the EPA just yet, but Toyota does estimate that this Camry will get between 44 and 51 miles per gallon combined, depending on what trim you have and what wheels you have. Obviously, the larger wheels, you're suffering a little bit on the mile per gallon wise, but I think they're worth it. They are beautiful, and I will take 44 miles per gallon combined if that is what's considered worse on the scale. And no matter what Camry you get, every single one has a continuously variable transmission, an automatic obviously, and the sprint to 60 is about 7.2, 7.3 seconds. So not incredibly quick. The previous V6 Camry was much more peppy, much faster than these 4 cylinders are. But again, fuel efficiency and electrification are where the future is going. So Toyota is getting on that train early. 2 different hybrid options. I guess take your pick. Let me know in the comments below if you've got one of these or you're thinking about buying one of these, which one is right for you. All right, cargo room in the back of the Camry. By the way, the button to open up the trunk is hidden underneath here, underneath the Y almost. Pinch that. I took about 30 seconds before I located it. I don't know what was wrong with me, but it is kind of a small button to push. All right, here in the trunk, about 15 cubic feet of space in the rear of your Camry. Not a ton of room, but with a yank of a little lever here, the rear seats do go down. So you'll have more room once that's open. But as you can see, it's a very narrow pass right here in the center. So long things could fit through, but wide and long things are not going to do well back here. There are some deep kind of cavernous sides over here to put larger items, if you want to carry some extra windshield washer fluid with you or something like that. But not a ton of room for a family getaway. Back here again, 15 cubic feet of space. There is a little kit under the floor here, but it's not any kind of extra storage. It's just to change a flat tire. Just 15 cubic feet of space. All right, let's get to the inside because this is also totally redone for 2025. Like I mentioned, look how gorgeous that red leather is. I absolutely love it. Here on the door, that red leather obviously grabs your eyes right away. Kind of a simple door here, I will say. It's also kind of thin. I kind of wish there was a little bit more of a bulk to it, but nonetheless, a quality car still for sure. You got automatic up and down all 4 windows here on the XSE trim. Again, this is the most top of the line premium model that they're offering for the 2025 Camry here. Let's get inside because I want to show you all the fun things in here. Move my seat back just a tad here for you. Now right now the car obviously is off, but whenever you do turn it on, by the way, it starts in quiet EV mode basically. Yeah, you don't hear any engine. It just comes on and gives you a little bit of a greeting here. I'll turn that off for you. Let's do door check. A little bit of rattling because the windows are down. It's really hot today and I don't want to, roast in the car or have the car sit with the AC on the whole time. So here we are. All right, so here in the XSE Camry Hybrid, you've got two 12.3-inch displays. One right here in the gauge cluster, and then obviously this large one here in the center. Now for this center screen in the lower models, the lower, more affordable trims, the 8-inch screen is what will come standard. You will not get this 12.3-inch screen. But on the XLE and the XSE, the 12.3 screen, this one is standard and it will come with that. So you've got to pay a little bit more for these bigger screens. But here in the center, love this all digital gauge cluster. I think every car eventually will get here, even the more affordable models. But right now, Toyota's making you pay for it, as are, every other competitor probably at this point. But here you've got all your fun gauges, everything you could ever imagine. And it's all controlled through these buttons here on either side. This looks very kind of BZ4X and Prius a little bit, but it is better than those steering wheels. It's a new steering wheel for the Camry overall, but I do wish it looked a little more sporty. It's something about this middle part, this like rhombus looking thing. I don't know, I just don't love it. It's a new steering wheel, feels really great. The leather wrapped here is nice material. Over here, all your different buttons for adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, and this thing comes with a standard safety suite of a ton of stuff. Lane departure warning, emergency braking, pedestrian detection, that sort of thing. So the gauge cluster here, perfect, love it. No notes. And to clarify too, every Camry does have an element of digital in the gauge cluster, but only the higher model trims have an all digital gauge cluster. So some of them will have a little bit of screen, but I think I would opt for this if I was the one buying, so I can get both of these two 12.3-inch displays. And I love, again, how this whole thing has been totally redesigned, and this huge sweeping feel is everywhere. Over here, look at this, kind of just really like drags your eyes and your attention. Very Lexus-like right here as well. The front of the car looks very Lexus, and this screams Lexus to me as well. It's kind of like a little cubby down here for the passenger's legs if you've got someone next to you. This big trim piece, obviously drawing a lot of your attention. I guess it's in an effort to make this maybe not look like it's a floating screen, like a big Tesla screen, but either way, I do like it. Piano buttons, kind of a piano-style buttons right here for you. Heated seats, heated steering wheel on this XSE trim, top of the line trim here for you. These vents are kind of small, and I'm not gonna lie, these buttons and these little sliders feel kind of chintzy. They feel kind of cheap. I don't love that, but you've got other vents over there as well, and over here for the driver. These vents could be bigger, but there is dual zone climate control standard on every Camry, and you also have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay on every single Camry, so that now is finally seeping in to the mainstream. Down here by the gear shifter, I'm going to point your eye out to something. EV mode right here, sport, normal, eco, and hold. EV mode is like when you're driving around a parking lot and you just want the car to stay kind of silent and don't turn the gas engine on, essentially. Once you press the accelerator too far, the car will switch out of EV mode and basically turn the gas part of the car on. It'll tell you too in your gauge cluster once EV mode is no longer doable. Parking brake right here for you. I love this huge armrest in the center. It runs the entire length of your arm. Look at this. My entire arm can go on this. It's not some little chintzy piece of thing here in the center. It doesn't need to slide because it's large enough already. Great job. Love this huge center armrest. It's also a little bit cavernous. It's got some room in there. It's not terribly deep or terribly wide, but just enough to hide all your valuables if you're walking away from your car. And let's go over here to this part here where I've got all my sunglasses and my phones and the keys for the car. A lot of storage area for cups right here and for different items. Maybe your phone, a wireless charging pad for you, two USB-C ports back here to charge your phone up, and a USB as well. Kind of tucked in there. They're a little bit hidden unless you're looking for them. I want to go back up to the big screen for a second. It's the standard kind of latest software update from Toyota for their operating infotainment system. I'm not gonna lie, I don't love it. It seems just a little too computerish in my opinion. It looks like I'm on a Microsoft tablet or something, and I don't love the way Microsoft materials and software and design looks. Not my favorite. Easy to use, very much easy to use, but still I don't love the way it's designed. designed. I'm very partial to Max. But up above this screen, not a very deep dash at all. And, you know, it's a little plasticky feeling, but it's not bad to look at. It's not bad to the touch. I kind of find myself not minding it. And it's high, too. I mean, this is a high dash in general. And I think it just looks beautiful all together. A big swooping design, like I said before. And here, of course, you've got this beautiful red leather in this XSE trim, which not every car has, by the way. I mentioned earlier, the standard cloth upholstery is what you'll get on the entry-level Camry, and the XLE and the XSE and above come with leather. This beautiful leather, this red color, it just pops, and I really, really like it. Again, very Lexus-like. I keep saying that in this video, but I think Toyota is really trying to step up their lower-end, you know, division, being themselves Toyota. But I think Toyota is really doing a nice job of trying to match what consumers say they want. And if you do opt for the more expensive trims like the XSE and the XLE, you will get things like this leather, the heated seats, heated steering wheel, ambient lighting, and a bunch of other amenities that I think are definitely worth it. I think a lot of folks might settle for the SE for price and everything like that, but I love the way this thing looks. And this huge sunroof up here, look at this. Let me actually put the shade the whole way back. Yeah, push this shade the whole way back. Lots of glass everywhere. This huge moonroof, just lots of natural light that comes in. But I just can't rave enough about these seats. They are comfortable, they are supportive, and they are just sexy. I don't know if every single Camry has this red leather, soft to the touch, and, you know, great choice and a more affordable family sedan. 8-way power adjustable down here for you with lumbar support as well. And the back seat, like I said, enough room for adults. Maybe not in that middle section here because, I mean, of that hump. This is an all-wheel drive variant, so you do have to compete with that middle hump here on this XSE. Maybe the front-wheel drive has a little bit more room. You do have vents there in the center, along with 2 more charging ports, a USB and a USB-C, so you can charge your phone at, like, what, 5 different places. Everyone can charge their phone at the same time here in this Camry. And this center right here, a big chunk of really squishy, nice leather. Feels actually a little loose, to be totally honest. I wish it kind of held itself up a little bit more so it wasn't down there on the seat like that. Like, I wish it was like stopped right there. No, not going the whole way down. But 2 more cup holders for you there. These seats do go down, like I said. There is no pass-through in the center. You have some mat flaps back here. These feel a little chintzy on the back. They feel also that they could be tightened up a little more, you know, tautly, I suppose. But yeah, the rear seat, plenty of area, plenty of room, spacious, and it looks really, really great. And one more note, if you are an audiophile like I am and you really want to have great sound, you can opt up to a JBL premium sound system in this XSE. This one does not have it, but you can opt up if you want a better sound system. All right, much like that motorcycle back there making all that noise, let's get this thing out on the road. Alrighty, so we are off to the races here on the road in the 2025 Toyota Camry Hybrid. So out on the road here, initial thoughts, the car is a little louder than I thought it would be, truly. I don't know if the sound deadening materials are different for 2025. I don't know if I'm just ultra sensitive to any engine noise that isn't, you know, my car, because I have an EV that's totally quiet. But I will say the car shifts very, very smoothly, but in between, you know, gears, whenever you do hear the car downshift, or it's a little louder than I kind of was thinking it might be. I test drove and reviewed a Toyota RAV4 about 7 or 8 months ago, and it was also quite loud. The engine whined more than I thought it should for being a Toyota. But definitely some initial get up and go thanks to those 3 electric motors in this XSE trim, 2 up front, 1 in the back. It's in normal mode right now. There is a sport mode down below by the gear shifter. Definitely, you know, makes it a little more enthusiastic, but nothing to compare it to what the V6 used to do performance-wise. 4-cylinder only from here on out. But one of the coolest things that Toyota does do and offer its brand new car buyers is 2 years of complimentary scheduled maintenance. Going around a turn here, oh, confident and quick, and those electric motors pull you right through. The slightest bit of acceleration really just kind of yanks this thing through. That felt great. Really surprised there how smooth that felt. Never driven an EV, in quotes, Camry before. But I think a lot of this is also branding. I mean, at the end of the day, the future is electric, and I do think these car companies are trying to ease folks into being comfortable with electricity by doing hybrids first. Smart marketing and smart thinking on Toyota's part to only give you a hybrid option. People know the name Camry, they trust it, and I think if you just inch it in there and make people see it's not a bad thing, it goes a long way. And I do think it'll pay off by, you know, just getting people more comfortable with the idea of one day maybe having an all EV. Here at a stop, the car's engine turns off like most cars do, but this one totally goes silent until you whack the accelerator again. And then you can tell when the gas engine kicks back in. And the car's telling me to stay in the lines. I'm trying to throw it off here. Nice job. The steering wheel vibrates and it kicks you back over to where you're supposed to go. There is a cool feature available on the Camry, by the way, too, that it actually will brake for you as you're going into a turn. It kind of helps you navigate and maneuver the turn easier by helping you with applying the brakes automatically. Another cool feature that I'm driving right now, and I'm the only one in the car, is there's a button right here above the AC button in your dual zone climate control center that lets the air only be blown on the front passengers. So instead of wasting air blowing in the back where no one is sitting, blow the air on the people who are in the car in the seat where they are. Kind of smart. Really loving how solid the car feels though. Toyota makes an amazing product and I am in love with the interior of this. I'm not a huge family sedan fan. I used to have an Accord and it was okay. I really love the way this looks though on the inside. These seats are hugging me like something I wasn't expecting. The lumbar support is great as well. Push of a button, it really supports in all the right places, and I'm really blown away. The passenger seat also, by the way, too, is a power seat in this top model trim. The average driver drives these kinds of cars. These are the cars that, you know, people drive in middle America, middle class. That's what we drive, right? It's succinct, it's clean, it's not confusing, and I think anyone, after they sit with this for a few moments, could really go through and navigate these screens with ease. They're not Mercedes-Benz crazy, complicated, and confusing, or BMW confusing. Whenever you rev the engine, yeah, you can tell it's a CVT right away. It is a quiet cabin when you're not under acceleration. I don't hear wind. That was a muscle car, so that was a little louder than normal, but it's quiet. There's not a lot of road noise or any kind of crazy distraction that I'm finding, and I'm going about 60 right now. Another thing I'm noticing is that I have this seat as far down as it will go, and my head is just millimeters from touching the roof. Not a ton of headroom up here. I've got plenty of leg room, but I wish I had another inch or so for my head, because right now I'm like flirting with this big shade for the panoramic sunroof. I am just cruising along here on some back roads and soaking up all the bumps with ease, even though I've got these 19-inch tires, wheels on this car. I'm gonna come to a stop here in a second and do an acceleration run for you. Turn the air off entirely and put this thing in sport mode, and we'll see what she does. All right, come to a stop. There's no one behind me. It's a little bright right now. All right, in 3, 2, okay, all right, 60, there we are. I definitely spun the wheels a little bit from the jump, and it was a quiet acceleration, sort of, but not quick. It definitely had an initial jump off the line, and then once those electric motors faded away, yeah, kind of a slow creep to 60 miles an hour. Enough power for average everyday driving in and out of highways, back roads. I'm gonna pass this car now. Going way too slow, sir. Good merging power, good passing power. It's quiet. I still don't hear the wind. Oh, spun the wheels there pulling out. That's nice to know. Easy to spin the wheels on this Camry despite the 4-cylinder engine. I want to test out the brakes here as well for you and see what they feel like. I'm going about 60 right now. I'm going to hit the brakes down to about 40. Ready? Oh, they are quick. Wow. They are quick to grip. Nicely done. On a back road, let's give it some power. Nice. And just nimble over these backcountry roads. Nice feedback from the wheels too on the road. I feel like I'm a part of the road and a part of this whole experience beyond just being the driver. Well, that is it for this review of this 2025 Toyota Camry Hybrid, the XSE trim, about $36,000. Dependable, reliable, totally redesigned inside and out, and it is a winner. You have to put this on your list and at least test drive it. This thing is built in America. This one right here has 68 miles on it, I think. It was built in April of 2024, so it is brand spanking new. You have to check one of these out. Thank you so much for watching today. Please like and subscribe to the channel below, and also follow us over on Instagram at Overdrive Reviews. You guys are the best. Let me know what else you want to see here on the channel. See you next time.